Hello, everyone. This is Truth and Oneness Discussions with Scorpio and the Aquarius here. It's been a little bit, I think, since we posted the video, but we figured we'd just do a general talk about nothing, really. What is there to say, right?
Yeah, it's the new year now, so we're just gonna kind of like talk about like what's been going on and how things have been kind of unfolding as the year started. So, um, so what should we start with?
Oh, I don't
You
know,
want me to
man.
start with something?
Yeah, go ahead.
The elections. Okay. We kind of figured like there's gonna be something going on with that and a runaway kind of a thing, like being taken or whatever. It's like, but we're watching from the outside, and we're like, we don't really care much about all this because everything needs to happen the way it's happening. But it's just kind of funny, like when you watch the pieces, like we started to be able to call it, like, okay, for Trump to lose, he needs to lose one of the big key states. So there's the elections for the senators coming up right before the electoral colleges vote, and
What was the electoral college before the January 20th
yeah,
thing, whatever, right?
before January 15th.
Oh, 15th.
So, a state that's been pretty much red for the beginning of it all, somehow it went blue, and it's funny, but I was like, yeah, it's probably gonna happen. No, that's probably because that's exactly what they want. Because then it's like they can't contest it anymore because hey, it's blue. I mean, and what's funny is, it was both candidates were like down to the wire, but then oh, guess what? We have an extra 150,000 ballots coming in.
Kind
Yep.
of like the
Yeah.
election, the presidential
Yeah.
elections, right?
Mm-hmm. We just got a nice influx of only Democratic votes, and they both win.
But what's funny about it is that, like, if you are looking at it from the bigger perspective, you can clearly see, the foul, if you want to call it foul play, that's evident. But then at the same time, you take an even further step back, you can kind of see how this is all just like a play unfolding on a stage,
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. So it's like those are all the players in play. We've got the good guys and the bad guys, depending on, and there's a for each. If you're at the level, kind of there's a good guy and a bad guy, right? Good
Mm-hmm.
cop, bad cop, sort of thing going on right now, and it's like it's humorous, sort
Yeah.
of humorous. At the same time, it's kind of like you know anyone who is really caught up in it, don't get caught up in it because again, I think we keep saying each time is that the most important thing is for each individual human to stay centered in themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep your vibration aligned with your highest, your consciousness, your highest, and with your highest self or like Earth and all that kind of stuff. And just kind of watch it like a movie, basically,
Yeah.
because that's kind of what's going on right now.
It's funny when you said the play thing, and I was thinking about it's like, you know what this reminds me of, like Romeo and Juliet. It's like the two houses, the Democrats and the Republicans. It's like they're battling each other, and there's no good side or bad side depending on how you view it. It's like if you're on one side, you're like, oh, those people are the bad ones, and you're on the other side, those people are the bad ones. But there's actually no one that's bad necessarily. If you're in the game, we're removed from the game, like watching it, so it's like actually interesting. You're like, whoa, what are they? Oh, look at them! Look at what they're doing now.
I'll
It's
say,
interesting.
yeah, it was probably up until really recently, because I've been kind of looking at it from the outside too, but I've always been like a Trump supporter, just because the last 4 years of what their administration has been doing has been overall positive things for humanity in a way, at least moving out of the grind, I guess you could say. And I think even more now than even a few months ago, I kind of am like, let the great creator continue pulling the reins here because it's going in the direction it should go in no matter what happens, sort of thing. And I see it even more or less, the less of the duality aspect of it all. I can't really explain. What am I trying to explain here?
Yeah.
Um, like if I had voted, I would have voted for Trump. But now I definitely would, and I didn't vote. But now I even more so. I'm like, yeah, there's no point in voting. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. No,
That
absolutely.
I think, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because it's like how these whole things go down. It's like you can tell pretty easily that your vote doesn't count. Like it doesn't matter. They
But it
are,
should
but
though.
it
But then
should
is this
absolutely.
process trying to show people that there is going to be a change and show people that you should count? Like, what is the if you come back to like the place of, well, what's the point of all this? You know, what is the point of all this? Because we have a clear winner in the elections, quote, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but does that if that doesn't play out, then like, what does that say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, if it does play out, then it's like, well, if we come back to the whole, well, why are we in a world where we have to be run by like a
Exactly.
group of people?
I
You know
think
what I
that's
mean?
I think that's where this is going because like they keep talking about how they want to pretty much like thumb us down into the ground, and the idea behind that is like the harder you push people, the more they're like, why am I even allowing you to do this to me?
Yeah,
And it's like, why did I even? And then it makes you start the questions like, why did I vote for any of you? Like, I don't need you guys.
exactly.
It,
It's
it
like
goes back to that.
we're like here, at this campsite that we're at. There's other campers that are here. We go out, we were just in town the other day, um, and for the most part, people are just kind of doing their thing. So it's like, well, what's going like? There's you know what I mean? There's like a, what is it? The law of the land, is that the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for? Yeah, I'm kind of a firm believer in like people can govern themselves. What the whole sovereignty thing, right? Yeah, we are sovereign beings. We don't need to be governed by anyone. But yeah, I think maybe it is moving toward that because even like if I like look within, like, that seems to be like the highest outcome of all of this. I don't know. We know if it's gonna be a year or few years or longer or whatever, but like the most optimum outcome would be like
Yeah.
back to a something like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like, and people kind of have to go through all this to kind of see that that's what they need.
Shift out of
Because it's
the
like
old mindsets.
they keep holding their breath, wondering what they're gonna be told to do next. Like, oh wait, so how are we gonna be safe? What are we gonna do? It's like, it's inside of you. You can figure this out. Like, if there was no one there telling you what to do, would you just perish, or would you actually figure something? It's like, would you start to think for yourself? Would you start to realize that you're very capable
Yeah.
of actually understanding and living a great life? It's like you don't need to be told what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
So you have it inside of you that you're like, wait, I don't like the way it feels to hurt somebody or to be hurt.
To be mean to other people.
It's like that kind of stuff. It's like all these things. It's like they're gonna get to the point where it's like you can choose two different things. Like you can live like Teen Titans and inside of a big old huge barricaded wall, or you can be living on the outside and just enjoy yourself.
Teen Titans.
Oh no, not Teen Titans. Attack on Titans. Sorry.
Attack on Titans. Okay, Attack on Titan, everyone. That's a, what is it? A social. It's a good movie for, or series, cartoon series for
Yeah.
everyone to watch. There we go.
It's like you put Matrix and Attack on Titan together, and you have like what people kind of need to go through to figure out what they're doing next.
So December 21st. Any thoughts on on that day coming and going? There was a lot of hype around that day for a while, and I think I remember people were like
Yeah,
saying the 21st is the great,
is
the great event. That's what it was.
that was um the two planets aligning, kind of
Oh,
like
the
the Star of
conjunction, yeah.
Bethlehem. That's right.
So that did happen, and I think we were kind of. I was as much of the stuff that I was researching. It's kind of like, okay, something could be going on, something may not be going on. I don't know what, and whatnot. But yeah, the conjunction of Saturn and Uranus was it? I think
is Saturn and Jupiter.
Jupiter. Wait, are you sure? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of people's tensions being high and everything like that, and I felt like it was definitely a lot of people's energy kind of surged. So obviously something was happening beyond the fact of people just holding their breath for some like massive solar flashlight, whatever. It's like something was definitely happening because afterwards you got this kind of sense of like relaxation kind of hitting onto people that are actually kind of freeing themselves, but like the other people, it's like they're really really tense and like really depressed right now. But I feel very calm after, like, I felt like how that all started to kind of calm down. But for a couple of days after that, there was a lot of people like being a little
I felt
tense.
like,
But
what was it like? It was 2 days after that where we had a lot of wind and like
oh yeah,
really
yeah.
strong winds for like 2 hours or something
Mhm.
at night, and then it was like completely quiet outside. I think it was one of those like they call them what is it, solar flash or whatever. Basically, the energy from so it was probably a solar flash, but like the energy. Basically, the sun is sending, and this has happened constantly. Though it's happened constantly throughout the year and throughout the years. I think they're just stronger now, over the past few years or whatever. But I think it was another one of those,
Yeah,
and I think there's still that. The thing is, there's that's those are going on constantly, and then of course, yes, the big thing was that conjunction because that has aligned or changed a lot of the energy in this physical reality, right?
Mhm.
And things are having to shift, kind of like the conjunction, like shift kind of quickly and like align differently. And that is definitely, if you are tuned to that kind of stuff, that's definitely felt too, right? Or it could be
Definitely.
felt by yeah. So that was interesting. What else? Definitely some weird, interesting things just going on in general though over the past few weeks or so, energy wise. Um,
Yeah, our kids like wigged out a couple of times out of nowhere too. Not, and they normally kind of like hold that for like near full moon time frame, but they kind of just like were bonkers and very like high strung. We're like, what is going on with you today? And that was interesting. So
Planets are
definitely some stuff
shifting, doing
going
some,
on with them too.
yeah. So, I guess like yeah, we'll see where all of this goes, and I think it's still again really important for people to stay aligned. And I was actually looking at some, I forget what YouTube channel it was, but like um they're saying that like it's good to make sure we're taking care of our physical bodies,
Mm.
which that's always been important, but it's important even more so because there are a lot of physical changes that are starting to or have been happening, but I think are being like ramped up. You know, that we need to make sure we are allowing those processes to happen. Basically, the upgrades. Um, and so basically, if you feel sleepy, just go to sleep.
Yes,
Eat as healthily as you can, or as aligned with yourself as you can. I would probably just stop eating any kind of like heavily chemical
processed
processed type
foods. Yeah,
foods. Just
for
kind
sure.
of yeah. And there's some recommendation on one channel saying that intermittent fasting right now is probably a good time, just because that extra energy used to digest your food can be used toward like helping to upgrade the body, whatever, with the new, what do you call it? The new information, the new um, energy waves that are coming in, uh, like
Yeah.
light codes, I think that people call them.
Hmm.
So if anyone's in that kind of stuff, yes, be very mindful of what's going on for your body right now, and just rest and eat good, drink lots of clean water, right?
Hmm. Like if you're a bottled water drinker, smart water is a good one to go for.
Because it's actually like filtered or
Yeah, it's
something.
distilled.
It is distilled,
They
yeah.
one. I think they one of the only ones that's actually a good distilled water.
Yeah, or get a distiller
Yeah.
or a high quality filter. Yes.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
what else? That was another thing I heard recently. Something about monoliths that are being like set up everywhere, or these little like
Yeah.
monoliths. I don't know if you look at them on the internet, you probably see like tons of like uh, stories about them popping up. But okay, so I'm not really into the news, so you heard about this
Yeah.
first. Okay, so it kind of sounds like a fake thing because a lot of them, I guess, people have been looking at it saying that they're fake. But there's one channel, I think it's called what's her name, Blossom Goodchild, I think. She channels the Federation of Light and also uh, White Cloud, I think. But so she brings up the monoliths every once in a while to the Federation of Light, and they clarify to her that you can go to her YouTube channel and look up some of her channelings or whatever. But they are clarified to her that yes, there are monoliths, there are the real ones, and then there's tons of fake ones which they don't really care about, but those are up for distractions and to distract people, whatever. But there are some that are real and being set in place for something that has to do with, the raising of the planetary energy and
Mm.
like the planet and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting because it's like, okay, so is that really okay? Really? What? Anyway, it's kind of one of those. I guess I'm one of those people that kind of like waiting for to see something that I haven't like. This seems out of the ordinary. Like be wowed, fantastical,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And I'm still waiting for it. And I believe I'm gonna see something. I want to see. I want to fly. What about you?
Yeah, I just keep waiting. Also, it's like I'm not really like gonna hold my breath because a lot of these people like they pick dates and they don't realize like they're like, yeah, it's gonna be something like kaboom in your face, and it ends up being like kaboom, but like on the energy level, so you don't see it.
Right.
And but there are people starting to see other things happening every now and again. Of course, there's the monolith thing. There's people taking pictures of stars or like recording
Oh
stars and
yeah,
seeing
yeah.
lots of very unique and like interesting things happening. So it's like there are things happening and it's starting to grow. So it's gonna be pretty interesting as it progresses because it's like these are normal people. They weren't like, oh, I'm a channeling person. Look at this. It's like they're just normal people. They're like, whoa, what is this? I gotta share this with other people.
Yeah, there's one lady's channel, YouTube channel, that she does lots of recordings of the sky and gets some very, very interesting things going on up there. That if anyone's into that kind of stuff, her YouTube channel is called Gina Maria Colvin Hill. I'll try to link it in the description box, but um, if I don't, just look that up. It's a Gina with a G, um, Colvin with a C. Okay.
Hmm.
But anyway, no, there's a lot of really interesting things on her channel, and it's stuff that yeah, you basically you know shows you that of course there's more to this existence than like just this existence, right? There's way, 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 way. It's like so much more complicated than I think any of us can wrap our brains around. You know what I mean? It's like
Mm.
one of those things where like if you get as far as like the stationary, potentially stationary, and there's even really, do we even know if it's like stationary, the Earth? You know what I mean? Like in the bigger part of it, it could be moving, and but the plane that we're on right now is motionless for the most part. So we'll just stay a stationary, relatively flat plane. You get that far, there's like so much more. Like that's not even like the half of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, and yeah, yeah. If you get to that model, basically, it's and just even with our own physical bodies, I took a lot of anatomy and physiology, and like that is not even like
Mm.
that's not even the half of it. Like
Yeah.
there's like we're so much more complicated, not complicated, but like fine like tuned than I think anyone could even have like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, existence is way more amaze balls than like anyone tells us ever.
That's why they struggle even just making like a lung or a heart or anything that actually works. It's like it's not that simple, you guys.
Yeah.
It's not. And those always have to be replaced constantly.
Yeah. So any last thoughts here?
No, that's a pretty good place to wrap it up at. Like we have a lot of interesting things to think about if you listen to us.
if you if you are one of the people who listen to it, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Not very many people do, but hey, it's out there for whoever comes across it. And just basically, the main messages are like that we want to share with others is basically it's gonna be just fine. Enjoy yourself. Take care of your body and align. Hold on. Oh, sorry, we have background noise. Align yourself with your highest consciousness. Keep evolving, right?
Hmm.
And enjoy this existence and how things are playing out right now,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely. We will be here if you need us. All right.